morning everyone. Myself Sanjay Rani from EC department. So this is the 10th topic on electronic measurements and instrumentation. So let us revise the last topics. So in the last topics we have seen about the AC voltmeters. So we have seen about different types of AC voltmeters using rectifiers. By using half wave rectifier we have constructed an AC voltmeter, and also by using the bridge rectifier we have constructed an AC voltmeters. So in the today's class we will see about the thermocouples. Thermocouples are nothing but the radio frequency ammeters, which were constructed by using the principle of RF ammeter. So the today's topics are RF ammeter, and the next one is we are going to see about the ohmmeters. There are two types of ohmmeters: series ohmmeters and shunt ohmmeters. Series ohmmeter. Next one is the shunt ohmmeter. So these are the topics which we are going to cover. So the first topic is RF ammeter, which is also called as a thermocouple. Thermocoupler. Thermocoupler. Instrument. Which is also called as RF ammeter. So this is the thermocoupler instrument, which is also called as thermocoupler instrument, which is also called as an RF ammeter. So RF stands for radio frequency ammeter, which is constructed based upon the principle of thermocouple. So the basic principle. So mainly why we are using this thermocoupler instrument is in order to measure the AC current or the AC voltage. We are going for this AC or DC. Anything can be measured by using this thermocouple method. So what is the thermocouple method? So this thermocouple is mainly used to measure. Used for measuring currents and voltages. Currents and voltages. So it may be an AC current or AC current, or AC voltage or AC voltages, with the help of the PMMC instrument. So with the combination of the PMMC instrument, we are using the thermocouples. So what is the thermocouple? Thermocouple principle. So this thermocouple principle says that when we take two dissimilar metals and if we have a contact of two dissimilar metals. So I am taking two dissimilar metals and joining the two dissimilar metals at two different points. So now there are two junctions, A junction and B junction. So let us consider a wire. So this is a metal. This is one type of metal and this is another type of metal. So let this metal be copper and let this metal be something iron. And here we have combined these two different metals. So these are the two dissimilar metals which were joined together, and in here it forms a junction A and here it forms a junction B. So this is one type of material and this is another type of material, and these are the two junctions A and B. So at the junction A, if you are feeding at the junction A, so this is the thermocouple contact or junction. So this is junction A and junction B are A. Now we are feeding at this junction, that is junction A. So this junction is called as a thermocouple contact junction. So why this called as thermocouple contact junction is if two dissimilar metals were joined together at dissimilar points, and if only one junction is heated, then there exists a potential difference between this point A and this point B. So there exists a voltage plus minus. So there exists a DC voltage, and this DC voltage is used to measure. So for measuring this DC voltage is given to the PMMC instrument in order to measure the AC or DC voltage of the current. So heating one junction. By heating one junction, a potential difference is created between the two junctions. Potential difference is generated between junctions. So, as the potential difference is generated, AC voltage is generated. Thus, produces a voltage, which produces voltage across the junctions. Across the junctions. So the principle of thermocouple is, if we are combining these two dissimilar wires and we are making a contact between these two dissimilar wires, and if we are heating one junction, then the voltage is produced at the junction. So here the voltage is produced. Now I am taking, so this is the diagram for the thermocouple. So here I am taking two dissimilar metals. So this is one metal and this is one metal. This is metal A and this is metal B. So this is the contact, and this contact is called as thermocouple contact. And we are heating this thermocouple contact. Heating. So heater. Now current I is to be done, current which is to be measured is sent in this direction. So we are heating this thermocouple. Then the heating of the thermocouple, which means the heating of one junction of the thermocouple, produces an electromotive force or a voltage. And this is again given to the PMMC. So in this PMMC, here R is the internal resistance. So this is thermocoupler basic diagram. So the basic principle of the thermocoupler is, while heating, if we take any two dissimilar metals and we are going to heat any one of the junction, then a voltage is produced. Then according to the voltage produced, an EMF will be introduced. So according to the EMF introduced, there will be reflection in the meter, that is PMMC meter. So the current to be measured is to be sent in this direction. So the basic principle is, when current is passed, then current is passed at the thermocoupler, when current is passed at the thermocoupler material, an EMF is introduced, So with this EMF, the basic meter PMMC is measured. This is introduced to make the deflection in the PMMC meter. So from this we can conclude that if any one of the junctions are heated, then according to this meter, an EMF is produced here. So according to this EMF, which is proportional to the meter deflection which is present in the PMMC. So the deflection in the meter is proportional to electromotive force, and this electromotive force is proportional to the voltage produced between the junctions of the thermocoupler. And next, this is the heater. So we are giving the unknown voltage here, and we based upon the thermocoupler principle, it will produce an EMF which is proportional to the meter deflection. Next, we will see the different types of thermocouplers. the different types of thermocouples are so the first one is the mutual type. Next, second type of thermocouple is the contact type. Next, third type is the sensitive type or a separate type. Separate heated type thermocouple. Next, the last one is the bridge type. So the last type is the bridge type thermocouple. So if you draw the diagrams of these four types of thermocouple, it looks like this. First one is the mutual type. So the figure for this mutual type is, here we have the ammeter, here you see Rn. So this is the PMMC meter which is having the internal resistance of Rn. This is the thermocouple. So this is the thermocouple contact, which is the contact between the two dissimilar metals. So this is the mutual type of thermocouple, which is used along with the PMMC instrument. Next, second one is the contact type. So in this contact type, we are taking the PMMC meter. And here it is a V-shaped, which consists of 3 points A, B, C. So here at the junction 3 terminal, we are giving a resistance, and this is the heater, and this is the thermocouple contact. So this is the internal resistance of the contact type resistance Rn. So in this, instead of directly giving the heater to the thermocouple, we are giving with the help of the heater. So here the unknown current, the unknown AC current is directly given to the thermocouple. Here we are not giving the current directly, the unknown current directly to the thermocouple. Instead of giving that, we are placing a heater and we are giving the current, the unknown current with the help of the heater, and it is the direct contact between the heater and the thermocouple instrument. Next, third one is the separate heater type. Separate heater type. So in the separate heater type, we are using a glass bead. So this is the glass bead. And here we are placing the resistor and the heater. And next the last one is the bridge type. So in this bridge type there are 4 contacts. This is the first contact and this is the second contact, third contact. And here we are placing the meter on it. These are the thermal contacts. So these are the 4 types of thermocouple contacts present in the RF ammeters. So with the help of these thermocouple contacts, we are going to measure the unknown voltages or unknown currents. So in these 4 types, this bridge type having the higher sensitivity. So the sensitivity is more than the approximate or the reading of the meter, that is PMMC meter will be accurate. So compared to the mutual type, contact type and the separate meter type, which gives the high sensitivity and higher accuracy of the meter reading compared to the other type of thermocouple ohmmeters. Next we will go for the ohmmeters, which we have 2 types, that is series ohmmeter and shunt ohmmeter. So ohmmeters. So till now we have discussed about the different types of ammeters and different types of voltmeters using the PMMC instruments. So this PMMC instrument is used to measure the current and the voltage. Now this PMMC instrument should be used to correct the value, to show the value of an unknown resistance. So to have the value of an unknown resistance, we are using these ohmmeters. So these ohmmeters are of 2 types, series ohmmeters and shunt ohmmeters. So these ohmmeters are generally used for measuring unknown resistance in a circuit. Unknown resistance in a circuit. So it is a one type of PMMC instrument which is used to measure the resistance. So the 2 types are, first one is the series. Next one is the shunt ohmmeter. So first we will discuss about the series ohmmeter, next we will go for the shunt ohmmeter. So the idea for the series ohmmeter is, so in the series ohmmeter, first we are placing the PMMC instrument in series with the resistance. So here is the resistance and this is the PMMC. So here is the variable voltage. And here is the battery B. Next here is the unknown resistance Rx. So this is the unknown resistance Rx and this is the resistance R1 and this is the resistance R2. So this is the internal resistance of the meter R1. Next, let us consider the points here A and B. So this is the basic diagram of the series ohmmeter, which consists of a PMMC instrument which is placed in series with the series ohmmeter RL, that is PMMC, is in series with R1. Where R1 is the current limiting resistor or the multiplier resistor. Current limiting resistor. And the value of the unknown resistance which we want to measure using this series ohmmeter is Rx. So here Rx is the unknown resistance. Next, here R2 is the differential. So R2 is the potentiometer with varying resistance. And here B is the battery, internal battery which is attached inside the meter. So next, the operation of this series type ohmmeter is so we are discussing about the ohmmeters. In that we are discussing about the series ohmmeter in which the PMMC instrument is placed in series with the resistance R1, where R1 is the multiplier resistance of the current limiting resistor which is used in every circuit, which is used in ammeter and also the voltmeters in order to limit the current. Now the unknown resistance which we have calculated needs to be given as Rx. So this Rx value is calculated by the meter. So the meter gives the reflection which shows that the value of the unknown resistance is the quantity which it is measured. So this is the scale. So it is a uniform scale which consists of the scale from infinity to 0. So the minimum value of the scale which is shown by the PMMC is infinity and the maximum value is 0. So this is the uniform scale which has the readings like this. Minimum and this is the maximum value. So the minimum reading of the series ohmmeter is infinity and the maximum reading is 0. So this 0 is called as the first scale reflection of the meter. So the resistance Rx is placed between the two terminals A and B. So here if we consider the case 1. So in this case 1, if the resistance Rx equals to 0. So if the resistance Rx equals to 0, then the terminals A and B are short circuited. A and B are short circuited. So the terminals A and B are short circuited. If Rx equals to 0, then the terminals A and B are short circuited and the maximum current flows to the meter. So the maximum current flows to the meter, then the scale shows the full scale reflection current. So now the meter shows the value 0 ohm, which is full scale reflection current. Which is the full scale reflection current. Next, case 2. If Rx equals to infinity, means if Rx equals to maximum, suppose we consider infinity, then AB are open circuited. Open circuited. So if AB are open circuited, then if this AB are open circuited, then no current flows to the meter RL. Then the value of the resistance is 0. So now in the first case we have seen that Rx equals to 0, then the maximum current flows to the current. So the maximum reflection is 0. Now AB is open as Rx equals to infinity. So in the first case we have taken as 0, so current flows to the circuit. If Rx is infinity, means if it is having a higher value, then the low current flows to the circuit. Then the close to the meter. To the meter. So the value indicated by the meter is, so the value indicated by the meter is infinity. So the initially it is having a maximum reflection value of 0 and the initial value is infinity. So this is the case 1 and this is the case 2. So one of the disadvantage, so even though this series ohmmeter is used to measure the resistance, unknown resistance of a circuit, there is one disadvantage. So the one disadvantage is the battery which is used inside the series ohmmeter. So due to aging of the battery, there will be voltage drop which occurs with the battery. So due to that voltage drop, the meter may not show the maximum physical reflection, that is 0 ohms. So in order to retrieve this problem, what we are going to do is we have to change the resistor value R2. So this potential matter R2 is changed so that we have the physical reflection value of 0 ohms even though the battery is not working properly. So one of the disadvantages is aging of battery B, which leads to meter not showing the full scale reflection current, not showing the full scale reflection current. So it can be, so this problem can be avoided by using the variable resistance R2. So by adjusting R2, the meter can give the full scale reflection current. So now the series ohmmeter is completed. Now we will go for the shunt ohmmeter. So the shunt ohmmeter is, so in this shunt ohmmeter, here we are taking the PMMC which is connected, means the shunt connection is the PMMC instrument is connected in parallel to the unknown resistance Rx. So this is the unknown resistance Rx which is connected in shunt with the PMMC having an internal resistance of RL. Next, here is the variable resistance R1 and here is the voltage V. Next here we are having the switch S, voltage V and switch S. Switches. So this is the shunt ohmmeter circuit diagram. So the main difference between the series ohmmeter and shunt ohmmeter is, in the case of series ohmmeter we are placing the PMMC in series with the resistance R1, whereas in this case the PMMC meter R1 is placed in shunt with the unknown resistance Rx. So let us consider the 2 points A and B like we have considered in the previous session. So case 1. So in this case 1, if APR, if R is equals to 0, if R is equals to 0, then AB equals to, then AB is short circuited. So if AB is short circuited, then the meter resistance if Rx equals to infinity, which means AB are open circuited. AB are open circuited. So if AB are open circuited, the maximum current flows through this meter. So the current through the meter is infinity. So the current is infinity. So it shows the maximum reflection. Maximum reflection. So the meter shows the maximum reflection. So these are the two cases present in the shunt meter. So the initial case is 0 and the maximum case is infinity. So the maximum crystal reflection is infinity. So if we consider R patient, so in the previous case we have the variable resistance R2. So in this case we are having the variable resistance R1. So this shunt resistance is much used. Shunt ammeter is mainly used for measuring